The wait is over. The Gen V Season 2 finale has finally arrived, and it wastes no time dropping us straight into chaos. Thomas Godolkin is back, fully healed, fully aware, and more dangerous than ever. But this time, it isn't just about survival. It's about control. Control of power, control of minds, and control of destiny. What started as a story about young supes trying to find their place has now become something far darker. A war between those who think they deserve to be gods and those still fighting to hold on to their humanity. This episode opens with the moment everyone's been waiting for, the truth behind Godolkin's survival. The fire of 1967 that was supposed to erase him from history didn't finish the job. Somewhere inside that inferno, he woke up, desperate and delusional, and injected himself with the very same compound phi that destroyed the rest of the scientists around him. The gamble paid off. He survived. But what came back wasn't the man he used to be. It was something colder, sharper, almost reborn. When Marie healed him earlier this season, it wasn't just his body that came back to life. His ego did too. And now, after decades of hiding behind Dean Shetty's mind, Thomas Godolkin was ready to reclaim the world he believed he created. For years, he'd been living through Cipher's body, experiencing life secondhand like a ghost behind the eyes. Imagine being trapped in someone else's skin for 30 years, unable to speak, unable to act. So when he finally broke free, he wanted to feel everything again. Every breath, every heartbeat, every moment. But his version of living quickly turned twisted. He started plotting. He saw the next generation of Godolkin students as an experiment, not a community. In his mind, they were test subjects, and only the strongest, the most obedient, deserved to remain. That's when Sister Sage enters the picture, brilliant, manipulative, and just as dangerous in her own way. On the surface, she and Godolkin were partners. She understood his genius, maybe even loved it. She offered him something resembling companionship, even asked him to move in so they could build the future together. But underneath, she was calculating every move. She wanted control too, just not the kind Godolkin envisioned. Godolkin had a secret plan, a culling of the herd. He wanted to eliminate every student he thought was weak. His twisted philosophy was simple. Power without purity is wasted. So he arranged a special class, promising fame, rankings, maybe even a shot at the 7. The catch? None of them were ever leaving that room alive. One by one, he planned to erase the weak and keep only the chosen few. It was cruelty disguised as ambition. Sister Sage saw what was coming. She knew Godolkin's arrogance would destroy everything, and she also knew that introducing him to Homelander too soon would be catastrophic. Homelander's ego doesn't allow competition. The last thing he'd tolerate is another superhuman who can bend minds. So when Godolkin went live on social media, bragging about his rebirth and his vision for a new generation, it wasn't just reckless, it was suicide. Sure enough, Homelander saw it, called Sister Sage, and she ignored it. You could almost feel the storm building. Then came the lecture, the one that would decide everything. Godolkin stood before his students like a preacher at the end of the world. He spoke of destiny, strength, evolution. But behind his calm voice, he was seizing control, one mind at a time. He wanted to evolve, to control more supes at once, so that eventually he could take over Marie. That had been his obsession from the beginning. She was the one person he could never manipulate. Not in Elmira, not in Godolkin, not anywhere. To him, controlling her meant perfection. And if he could master Marie, he believed he could control Homelander, the other child of Project Odessa. That was the ultimate goal. Godolkin didn't just want to play God. Sister Sage couldn't let that happen. When she visited Polarity in his cell, she left the door open on purpose. To anyone else, it looked careless, but it was a silent message. Stop him. She knew Polarity was broken, grieving, haunted by his past, But she also knew that if anyone could bring Godolkin down, it was him. The conversation between them was heartbreaking. Sage talked about loss, about pain, almost teasing him about his wife and son. But that wasn't mockery. It was empathy disguised as cruelty. She needed him angry enough to act, because she loved Godolkin, and she knew love wasn't enough to stop his madness. Only chaos could. When the moment finally came, the lecture turned into a massacre. Students began collapsing, screaming, losing control of their own bodies. Godolkin moved like a puppeteer, strings invisible, his eyes glowing with sick delight. Even Marie fell under his spell. Her friends, Jordan, Kate, Andre, were powerless. Everything seemed lost until Polarity burst in, hurling a massive block of debris straight at him. The impact shattered Godolkin's focus, giving Marie just enough time to reclaim her mind. And in that instant, she did the one thing no one expected. She pulled a Victoria Newman. With a single thought, pop, Godolkin's head exploded. The puppet master was finally dead, and his web of control fell apart with him. It was a brutal, cathartic end. But it also raised a question. Was this really victory, or just another setup for something worse? Marie and her group were left standing in the ruins, broken, angry, and uncertain. Throughout the episode, Marie wrestled with her identity. She hated being called special, even though she was the only surviving baby from Project Odessa besides Homelander. It was frustrating to watch her deny what she'd become, but maybe that was the point. Marie wasn't fighting for glory. She was fighting to prove that power means nothing without purpose. When she told Godolkin, "We beat you, all of us, even the useless ones," it hit like a statement for the whole show. Gen V isn't just about the strongest. It's about the ones who stand together when everything falls apart. The team's plan to stop Godolkin had been clever. Infiltrate his lecture by using Black Hole's power to sneak inside. Use Harper to drain Godolkin's abilities long enough to break his control, and then free the other students. It almost worked flawlessly, until Marie got taken over. But even after all that chaos, the bond between the group held. She even apologized to Kate, giving her powers back so she could help in the final fight. It was redemption wrapped in blood. Still, not everything ended perfectly. Jordan and Marie's relationship fractured in the final moments. Jordan, torn between love and frustration, told her they just wanted to be friends. "I love you," they said, "but I can't keep chasing someone who keeps leaving." It was painful, quiet, and deeply human, a reminder that even heroes can break hearts. After Godolkin's death, the group didn't have time to celebrate. Polarity warned them that Vought was coming, and if they stayed, they'd end up locked away in Elmira again. So they ran, right into the path of two familiar faces, Starlight and A-Train. In one of the finale's best reveals, the pair offered them a choice: stay fugitives or join the resistance. And just like that, the Gen V kids officially became part of the boys' universe. There's no going back now.